Mark.
I'm Anna.
And today we are going to be watching episode 4, season 1, called Cripples, Bastards, and Broken Things. Alright, let's do a quick recap, Anna, of what happened during episode 3. What do you remember?
So Ned is coming into King's Landing, and there's this council meeting.
Yep.
Where he finds out they are 6 million gold in debt, which is kind of stupid. They should not be that much in debt. There was the scene where Ned was talking to Alia about why, I forget, I wrote down names in this. He has an entire thing I was being done. I only got the Starks so far. Sansa, that was her name. Why Sansa didn't back Alia up. And then the next scene was when Catelyn was coming into King's Landing to warn Ned about she thinks the old king hand of the king was poisoned.
Yep. John Arryn's.
And then after that, we're over in Essos.
Remember East Essos?
East Essos. And that was when Daenerys did the whole, stop on the whole march. And that's when, one of my favorite, that's when she gained a little bit more power from Viserys. And it started with a V. Viserys. And then one of my favorite scenes, no, you walk. That was pretty funny. And then the scene after that is when we find out Daenerys is pregnant.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool. After that would be the scene where Arya is learning how to sword fight.
Yep. With Syrio Forel. He is the first sword of Bravos.
I still need to write my notes.
Yeah, that's not a bad recap of that episode. Yeah. We have 2 pre-questions.
Okay.
The first question comes from Chris M., and it's for both of us.
Okay.
This question is, all of the great families or houses of Westeros has a house sigil. Symbol for Targaryens is a dragon. The Stark sigil is a direwolf. The Lannister sigil is a lion. And the Baratheon sigil is a stag. Symbol of the sigil could be any animal or object, real or make-believe. If you had a house sigil, what would you want it to be?
Unicorn. What?
That's funny you say that.
Why?
The reply is from Big B47. She'll probably choose a unicorn.
Okay,
Okay, I had a little time to think about that, and she didn't, but for myself, I don't know how I would look in the Game of Thrones, but mine would have to be a guitar.
Yeah, he has plenty. Let's see. In this room alone, not including my one guitar, he has the one behind the chair. So, and then there's that guitar, and then his first guitar, which only has 2 strings. It has a little picture of him when he got it on Christmas. It is really cute. And then there's his 12-string there, and then his old black guitar from when he was in the Army. Navy.
Good Lord.
You were doing some...
Well, I have some guitars.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's probably what mine would be. Like I said, I had some time to think about that.
There's 1 in the kitchen. There's 3 in his bedroom. I have 2 of mine at my mom's house. And then, is there any more?
The couple Mitch has borrowed.
Yeah.
Anyway, I have a collection of them anyway. So that's where I think my sigil would be a guitar because I got them hanging on the walls already. So.
Yeah, mine would have to be a unicorn.
Okay. Second question for pre-discussion. This comes from James B. O'Haran. But the real question is, which pony is her favorite?
Which pony? Like
My Little Pony.
My Little Pony. Pinkie Pie.
That's who I thought you were
Pinkie
going to
Pie.
say.
Yeah, I have my own little Webkins poodle, and I named her Pinkie Pie because she's pink. It reminded me of Pinkie Pie.
All right, so there's our pre-discussion, and so
That's
much for getting all these in under 20 minutes because that hasn't worked out very well. So,
Yes.
We are about to get going. You ready?
Yes. There's the stag.
No.
Yeah. Fun fact. Harry Potter's Patronus is a stag, like his father's.
Ah, okay. So you've heard of stag?
Mm-hmm.
I've never heard of stag before the show.
You learn it in the third book, or in the third movie, though it doesn't highlight upon it.
Ah.
But it goes more in depth in the books. And he's walking, so this is probably in the past. Or a dream. Or this is in a dream. Because he's walking. Or this was in the past. It's either in the past or a dream. Oh my gosh. That is... Oh yeah, dream.
Will I really be able to ride?
You will. On horseback, you'll be as tall as any of them.
This is some kind of trick. Why do you want to help him?
I have a tender spot in my heart for Cripples, bastards, and the broken thing.
Roll credits.
You've done my brother a kindness.
What in 7 hours is that?
Don't need an 8 fell to fit him in.
I yield. Please no more.
On your feet. Pick up your sword.
He wants to take them back.
Till he finds his feet.
Okay, so what about the fact do they have
A sigil? No, they do not have a sigil.
Why is stuff
If they
like
did,
Because
that'd
they're
be a
essence.
horse.
Yeah, it probably would be a horse.
Most likely. What happened to him walking?
Huh.
The lineages and history, the great houses of the 7 kingdoms, with descriptions of many high lords and noble ladies and their children. It's a tragedy.
Did he say anything to you during his final hours?
Nothing of import, my lord. Oh, there was one phrase he kept repeating. The seed is strong, I think it was.
The seed is strong. What does that mean?
The dying mind is a demented mind, Lord Stark. First words.
And you're quite certain he died of a natural illness?
What else could it be?
Poison?
Disturbing thought. No, I don't think it likely. But the hand was loved by all.
No. That's not me.
She wants to be a lord, not her husband.
What are you doing here, Sam?
On the morning of my 18th name day, my father came to me. "You're almost a man now," he said. "But you're not worthy of my land and title. Tomorrow, you're going to take the black, forsake all claim to your inheritance and start north. If you do not," he said, "then we'll have a hunt. And somewhere in these woods your horse will stumble, and you'll be thrown from your saddle to die." Also, I'll tell your mother. Nothing would please me more.
Well, it can't get any worse.
Yeah, the one thing about hitting Robert again, the only way up, the only way.
No, it is not.
Well, Baelish, perhaps I was wrong to distrust you.
Distrusting me was the wisest thing you've done since you climbed off your horse.
If the day ever comes when that boy would rather wield a sword than forge one, you send him to me.
Find anything?
King Robert's bastard son.
No one touches Sam. Hey.
You think this is funny to you?
Doff back your rags. Are you going to dress me now?
Please.
With the stinks of manure. All of it.
Stop. Stop.
You would turn me into one of them, wouldn't you? Next I want to braid my hair.
You've no right to a braid. You've won no victories yet.
You do not talk back to me. You are a horse-lord slut. And now you've woken the dragon.
I am a Khaleesi of the Dothraki. I am the wife of the great Khal, and I carry his son inside me. The next time you raise a hand to me will be the last time you have hands.
I never met my mother. My father wouldn't even tell me her name. I don't know if she's living or dead. I don't know if she's a noblewoman, or a fisherman's wife, or a whore. So I sat there, in the brothel, as Rose took off her clothes. But I couldn't do it. Because all I could think was, what if I got her pregnant? She had a child. Another bastard named Snow.
For a long, long time.
Why do they call you Littlefinger?
Arya, don't be rude.
No, it's quite all right. When I was a child, I was very small. And I come from a little spit of land called the Fingers, so you see, it's an exceedingly clever nickname. Has anyone ever told you the story of the Mountain and the Hound? Lovely little tale of brotherly love. The Hound was just a pup. 6 years old, maybe. Gregor, a few years older. Already a big lad, already getting a bit of a reputation. Some lucky boys just born with a talent for violence. One evening, Gregor found his little brother playing with a toy by the fire. Gregor's toy. A wooden knight. Gregor never said a word. He just grabbed his brother by the scruff of his neck and shoved his face into the burning coals. Held him there, while the boy screamed, while his face melted. There aren't very many people who know that story.
I won't tell anyone, I promise.
No, please don't. If the Hound so much as heard you mention it, I'm afraid all the knights in King's Landing would not be able to save you.
Trained to follow.
I was also trained to kill my enemies, Your Grace.
as was I. This man came into my house as a guest, and there conspired to murder my son, a boy of 10. In the name of King Robert and the good lords you serve, I call upon you to seize him and help me return him to Winterfell to await the king's justice.
But he didn't do it.
He didn't?
No.
Well, all right. I think that was my first question for you.
He didn't do it. Why? Because, well, it was the first time. We know exactly who the first time. But I am pretty positive he didn't do it the second time either.
All right. Well, that question was coming from Brian McClure. Do you think Tyrion tried to have Bran killed?
No.
So you don't think Tyrion's interested?
No.
Do you like Tyrion?
He is,
Has some good points and bad points.
yeah.
He is a Lannister.
Yeah. But I'm pretty positive he doesn't know about the affair.
After all, yeah, he did try to get Bran a saddle made up. Well, shoot, we were supposed to discuss what everything happened here in this episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a good question, McGab, coming straight out of there. So we'll come back to those here in a second. We opened up with the Bran and Tyrion scene with the saddle after Bran woke up from the dream.
Yeah, the dream with the three-eyed crow.
Yep.
It's like I and I.
Yep.
The all-seeing eye. I don't know.
And then after that scene, Tyrion went outside and he ran into Theon. Give us a little backstory on Theon. That he is a ward of the Starks. Because the rebellion Theon's dad started didn't go so well. Theon's brothers were killed, and Theon was taken at the age of 10, I believe. And he's been in Winterfell ever since. Scene where Daenerys and Jorah were talking as they were getting to Vaistos Rack, as they were getting to the city. Talking about what had happened to Jorah in the past. Jorah had sold slaves, and he had said he had had an expensive wife. But she's no longer around. And Ned Stark wanted him dead because Ned doesn't believe in the slaves. Slaving, anything like that. And it's not allowed over in Westeros. Slaves are allowed over in Essos. Oh, we had Viserys in the bath with a girl. Had some conversation. What do you think about some of that stuff?
Well, I mean, I was interested in the dragon names. Because, I mean, dragons are on the top 3 favorite mythical creatures.
Wow. Yep, he was naming them all the names off. He said when he was a boy, he'd go through and he'd memorize all the dragons' names anyways as a boy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Then we have Ned doing a little investigation. He gets to Grand Maester Pycelle. He wanted a book that Jon Arryn had questioned the night before he died. And he also brought up to Grand Maester Pycelle about the idea of poison, yes. We also had Arya and Ned talking. Ned telling Arya she was going to marry a prince or have a castle.
Yeah. She's like, no, that is not me.
Right. So yeah, that tells you what Arya's like. She don't want nothing of that. We had Jon and Sam at the top of the wall, giving some of Sam's backstory. What do you think of that? What do you think Sam's dad, his name is Randall Tarley. What do you think of him?
Randall Tarley.
We haven't been introduced to him, but that's just his dad. Sam had was talking about why he was at the wall.
Well, Sam's dad sounds really mean.
Doesn't accept Sam for who he is.
I know. That's him.
Well, we had a little Ned Littlefinger conversation going on in the courtyard.
It's like that one's that so and so's and that one's so and so and that one's mine.
They're working for Varys, or one of the little birds for Varys. That one over there is a spy for the Queen. That one over there, well, she's one of mine. Kind of lets you know how everything works in Winterfell. Everybody's always watching out for everybody, or not Winterfell, King's Landing. Everybody's
Spying on
watching,
everybody.
spying, yes. Then we're back up the wall with Sam and John talking and horsing around Castle Black. And I haven't asked you what you think of him yet, so I'm going to do that real quick. Sir Alistair Thorne, the guy that's in charge of training all the recruits. What do you think of him?
He seems mean.
Mean?
They're either mean, in between, or nice.
Okay. Do you think he's justified in some of the things he's talking about, though, because of what he's done in the past?
He has points, but like he's still the way he
The way
applies them.
It comes
is
across harsh, yes. Well, next thing we'll talk about is the little jousting tournament they had going on. Not complete yet. You got to be introduced to the mountain. And that's the Hound's big brother. And he ended up killing, I forget his name already. But he was the squire to Jon Arryn's and recently knighted. That was one of the things Ned and Littlefinger were talking about in the courtyard. About how he was knighted right after Jon died. In that jousting scene, you had Littlefinger explaining to Sansa the backstory of the Hound and the mountain, though. What do you think of that?
It was very interesting.
Interesting?
Yeah.
Make you feel for the Hound at all?
Yeah. I mean, like the whole comment where if he heard you talking about that, there's no knight in all of the knights would protect you.
Right.
I mean, I don't get why he's so, the Hound is so, like, peculiar about that story.
Alright, well, we had a quick scene there between Ned and Cersei. I think that was the only scene Cersei was in this one, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. Where she was talking about why he wasn't at his jousting tournament.
Right.
Because it has my name on it doesn't mean it's mine.
Yeah, he wasn't for that tournament anyway, right from the get-go because of the debt.
Just like, no way.
But they finished that conversation with Ned saying, well, I've been trained to kill my enemies. And then Cersei followed that up by saying she does the same thing, trained to kill her enemies. Just a little standoff there between the two of them. Which brings us to the wrap-up scene, and that was Tyrion getting to the brothel and coming in, and Catelyn was there. And Catelyn took Tyrion prisoner. And we talked about that a little bit there, right there at the beginning of the discussion. I'll bring us back to our questions. I gotta find them here. But you don't think Tyrion had anything to do with Bran, though? So, Cat was wrong, you think?
Yeah, I mean, it was his daughter, but he has a brother and a sister who has very valid reasons to kill him and would have access to that dagger.
Right.
Because, I mean, I take my sister's stuff all the time, as she takes my stuff all the time. Mainly clothes, though. It's mostly clothes, not daggers. And she has no use of a guitar, but it's It's mostly clothes in our case. And most of the time, she takes them without my permission or my knowledge.
Oh. Okay, talking about your sister. Here's a question from DeFarsher. If you were one of the Stark sisters, which would you rather be right now? Sansa, a soon-to-be queen of the Seven Kingdoms, or Arya, a tomboy being taught to use a sword by the first sword of Bravos?
Arya. I mean, learning how to sword fight is awesome. Would be cool. That would be cool. I
No
definitely
desire to
like-
be the queen of the Seven Kingdoms?
No. When I was 5, maybe.
Ah.
When I was 5.
And definitely not being married to Joffrey, I bet.
No, he's gay. In ways that I won't get in trouble. A donkey butt. Donkey butt, definitely.
This question is more about the last episode. This is from Chauncey911, and the question is, how do you feel about King Robert, wanting Daenerys and Viserys dead? Is it justified in order to avoid a possible civil war? You know how Robert don't like the Targaryens.
Yeah. I mean, I would understand Viserys, but Daenerys doesn't want to go to war.
Right. So you think it's justified for King Robert wanting them gone?
To avoid a civil war. But I mean, even if some of the people are still like Viserys, that stuff, I would think like the killing of who they think should be their rightful king would start a civil war as well.
Okay.
Because
that would cause unrest amongst over in
uh-huh.
Westeros if they found out King Robert killed them off.
Yeah.
Okay, that's actually a good answer. Okay, and here's my last question. And because we're 4 episodes in, who do you think are the 5 main characters of this show?
5 main characters. That
Yes.
is actually pretty hard.
Because there's a lot of characters in the show, but if you could
Uh-huh.
pick 5, who do you think the 5 main characters are?
I don't know. I'd probably think maybe like Jon Snow
Okay.
be one of them.
Yep, good possibility.
And then, cause like
I mean, they can
Jon
be
Snow's
good
our-
guys and bad guys.
Yeah, but I mean, like Jon Snow's our only link to the wall.
Right,
So-
right. Only link up there, so he has to have a major role up there.
And then I would think the Queen.
Queen Cersei.
Cersei.
All right.
Queen Cersei. Daenerys.
Daenerys.
Yeah. And then I would think Arya would be one of them, because even if there's a war coming, she would know how to fight. And
Right, because she's learning to fight.
And she's the future sister of the possible
Future queen, right?
The future queen. The future sister of the no, she is the sister. She's the sister of the future queen.
Right.
So, and Ned.
And Ned.
Ned would
Yeah.
be one of them.
There's 5.
There's 5.
Is there any more? You might want to, or no?
I don't. I mean, I named quite a few.
Yeah. Well, I was only looking for your top 5 picks for that.
Yeah.
And yeah, well, there's a lot of characters in here, so. And this was a loaded question. Do you have any predictions for what each of these characters will do by the end of the first season?
The end of the first season. Well,
Like, what do you think Jon
Arya.
Snow's going to do this?
Jon
Here's your
Snow.
first. What's he going to do at the wall this year?
I have no idea.
Okay.
It's the show, from what you have told me, is very unpredictable.
Right.
So And I mean, the wall has no, like, thing.
There's not a good
Yeah.
plot line going on yet up there. It's really introducing still. But Queen Cersei, what do you think she'll do by the end of the year?
Queen Cersei. Bran. He has no recollection of what happened in the first episode.
Right?
But so I think she might want to like make sure there's nothing that could remind him of that.
Okay.
Because I mean, even people who have amnesia of something that happened still can remember
Sometimes
stuff
it comes back.
Yeah, if they see a certain object or like
Something that'll trigger something in the brain.
yeah.
So her main concern is going to be keeping Bran quiet about everything.
Well, remembering.
Right. What about Daenerys? What do you think is going to go on over there with Daenerys?
Daenerys. Well, she's slowly becoming more a Khaleesi.
Khaleesi, yes.
She's becoming more of a Khaleesi.
Well, she is the Khaleesi,
Well,
but she's
yeah.
starting to act more like a Khaleesi.
Acting
yes.
more like a Khaleesi. And making her own decisions.
Oh, I didn't write that down. What did you think about that scene between Daenerys and Viserys when Viserys hit her and she went down, and then she hit him and said the whole line, "If you hit me again, you won't have hands." Do you like that scene? Mm.
Yes. I think some of my favorite scenes are going to be when he deserves what he gets.
Yeah, the last 2 episodes of each had a scene like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, where do you think Arya will be at by the end of the season?
She's gonna be like a good sword fighter, and she's gonna practice more, and she's a tomboy. She's gonna become probably more boyish and try to find a way for her to be a lord, like she said.
Okay. And how about Ned? Last question of the discussion.
Ned. I think he's gonna figure out what happened to the previous hand of the king.
Okay.
Find out exactly what happened and try to make sure it doesn't happen to him.
Well, obviously, because he's the hand.
And what caused
All
the
right.
death, like beforehand. Because even if he was poisoned, that you know how he died, but you don't know why he died.
Right.
So that's another important thing. We'll probably start to figure it out.
All right. Well, we're 4 episodes in, and we'll record number 5 here in the next couple days.
Mhm.
Maybe even tomorrow. Tomorrow or Monday. We'll record episode 5, and you'll be halfway through season 1 already.
I know. I have like literally the rest of today, tomorrow, and Monday of summer left. That's it.
Oh, I know, it's time for school.
And time for dock season.
Yeah.
We're gonna probably be making less and less videos, but
Well, we can do it in the evening, so.
yeah.
So,
But yeah, and after will probably be more frequent.
right. Well, we're pacing this slow. We have 18 months supposedly before season 8, so we have a lot of time. Some people have asked if we're going to do the history and lore videos also. And because I was planning on making her wait a couple weeks in between seasons, just so she has a mini break between seasons, I think we may do the history and lore videos also and do that in between.
Yeah.
So, that's the plan right now. And I hope everybody liked it. And we'll be signing off until we do episode 5.
Bye.
Bye.